All right, there we
Yo,
go.
hey, sorry about that, man. I I was at the gym. It's 11 a.m. over here, so I forgot that
Um,
you must be in a different time zone. But yeah, I still got my handwraps on, so I just got at the gym. How you doing, man?
well, I'm doing good, but how's your day so far? Give me like a little walkthrough.
Oh, it's good, man. Just woke up, spent some time with my wife and the baby, and just came down to the gym to stay active, get a little work in. Nothing much to it, but just trying to stay active.
Well, hey everyone, welcome to Fight Talk Podcast with your boy, the What's Next kid here. Make sure all of you put down whatever you want in the chat. Ask him anything. He's here. But yeah, and today's interview is sponsored by Long Island Boxing Charities. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and platforms like that. So let's get into it today. Introduce yourself to the fans that might not know who you are.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? My name is Tristan Kalkruth, also known as Sweet Tea. Born and raised from Dallas, Texas, currently living in Las Vegas. 17-1, 12 knockouts. Just came off of a recent victory about 6 days ago. So I just want to hop in and see how everybody's doing. What's up?
Well, listen, give me a walkthrough of your last performance. How were you feeling going into the fight compared to walking out?
Mm. Yeah, so, I mean, I feel good. I was in probably about a 3-month training camp because I was preparing for one fight, but then it got canceled or so. So I took a week off and then hopped into another camp. So the preparation was good. Now working with my new coach Ben Stanoff along with my dad and my training coach Quincy, Coach Pete. So the team and the prep for this fight was really good. Going into the fight, man, I mean that was probably like the most relaxed I felt. I ain't gonna lie, that was the most relaxed I felt, the most sharp I felt, and I think everybody saw that. Everyone saw that me put on a good performance and things like that, and it really showed that I'm meant to be here.
Well, listen, who were some of your sparring partners for this fight that helped you prepare and get ready to perform like this and get that knockout win?
Yeah, so one of my sparring partners was so first it was one of my best friends from Texas. His name is Braden Starring. He was a little lighter guy, but he's quicker. He's a quick guy. And so I did rounds with him. Then I also sparred Michael Hunter, who was a contender and also fought Alexander Usyk. He was the main sparring partner that I sparred, and I worked with him a lot of. He's a veteran, has a lot of ring experience. Taught me some things, and we just it was real high quality work.
Well, now, when can fans see you back in the ring, say?
Man, I want to get out there in September 12th, the September 12th card, the Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben. I think after my last fight, a lot of people were entertained, and I think they want to see more. They want to see more of me. So I talked with Oscar and Eric, and I'm seeing if there's a possibility I could have a slot on that card. And so they're in the works of putting everything together.
Now, give me a little bit of a walkthrough through your amateur career because you had a great amateur career. You won a lot of tournaments. You won two national titles, right? And stuff like that. So just give me a little bit of a walkthrough.
Yeah, so my first national that I won was junior at 138. And then I came back the second year. I won at 152, and then I won again at one of the USA tournaments at 152 again, and then I placed second at 178. On top of competing in continentals and placing and things like that. So I had a pretty decorate amateur background. I think it was like I was 92-9. So and then leading up to the beginning of my pro career, I was wanting to try to go and qualify for Olympics, but obviously I was like at that age gap where I couldn't enter, so I just decided to go pro.
Well, now, why should boxing fans keep an eye on you? Why should we be watching you as a fighter and all that?
Well, because it's the sweet tea party, man. I think everybody wants to taste of the sweet tea party. I'm entertaining. I'm explosive. I have I have every attribute. I have the grit to become a world champion. And I think people see that. And like I say all the time, there's always gonna be people that hate me, and there's gonna be people that love me. But at the end of the day, no one could call me boring. I'm entertaining. They're gonna watch either way or the other. So I think that's just kind of given itself. Entertaining person. I'm precise. I'm explosive, and I do backflips. That's just what
Well, I saw a photo of you on Instagram of you doing like a backflip. It just captured like you going back.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that must be
man.
interesting.
Yeah. I started when I was like a little kid. I was like 16 years old, and I was on a trampoline. I was like, man, this would be tough if I ever hit this in a ring. And then like I guess it started from my pro debut. Like I wasn't even thinking about doing it, but like I just had so much adrenaline. I just like flipped. I barely landed the flip too, but after that, everyone like started following and stuff like that. So it was pretty dope.
But now with that, right? Do you have to like practice it a lot to make sure you always get it now?
I think I formed some type of technique over it, like I mean I know how to tuck, so that's really all it is. You jump like as far up, straight up as you can, and then you tuck, you know. So I'm educating people here on backflips.
Well, listen, when you're fighting, what's your training routine like? Like, what are you eating throughout the day and stuff like that?
I'm probably eating like I eat a lot of like my wife does a lot of the cooking. So, she's actually I ain't gonna lie. Before I married her, I was eating like trash. I'm not gonna lie. Because I didn't really know about the nutrition part, but when I did marry her, and she cooked really well. So then, like, obviously, since she was the main one cooking, like, whatever she cooked, I ate. So then I started cooking a little bit. She kind of showed me how to cook. So she would make sweet potatoes, some ground beef, avocado, asparagus, like all these things, chicken, all these things that are lean. Then she would throw in some like garlic, some like turmeric, like all this stuff is healing to the body. So I started really getting put onto that. And, I think since, like, especially this last training camp and in the training camp before, like, I just been eating pretty clean, you know.
Well, right now, how would you describe your fighting style to fans who are watching this live video right now?
Well, I mean, I usually, my job is to go out there and fight, but I've heard a couple of fans, they kind of gave me, like, an idea of how I fight. I heard some people say, like, more like a boxer puncher or like a pressure fighter, but I could me personally, if I was to tell myself, I feel like I could do it all. I could box, I could walk, but I like to get within the range. I like to shoot. I like to fight mid range. So I think you saw a little bit of that my last fight. I started out boxing, kind of broke him down a little bit. Then I kind of started getting more close range, mid range, and started walking him down.
Well, how did you first get your nickname, Sweet Tea?
Yeah, so it's actually a crazy story. So, back then, my pro career, I was training with Ronnie Shields, who trained Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker, and I was a big fan of Sweet Pea. Like just his defensive highlights. I would watch a lot and how he was slick and things like that. And I spoke to him on the phone, and I had planned on meeting him, but then coming up to my my pro debut, he ended up passing. So, which was it was sad, sad time, hard time, And so I did it in honor of him, of Pernell Whitaker. And then right when I walked out, everyone was chanting "Sweet Tea, Sweet Tea." So I'm like, I guess this is like my nickname now, man. So I started off from first doing it in honor of Sweet Pea, and then it kind of had its own stick to it and became Sweet Tea.
Well, listen, who first brought you to boxing?
Man, that's a good one. I got to go way back for that. So my dad, obviously, he brought me to boxing, but my first coach ever was actually the coach that was working in my corner, who was part of our team. His name's Pete Rojas. So that was one of the first coach that I started working with, and then we stayed consistent until then. and we finally, had a chance to, reunite for my last camp. So my dad kind of got me into boxing, and he put me in hands of Coach Pete, which then many years later, landed to where I'm at now.
Now, you're 17-1, right? With 12 knockouts. What's
Mhm.
been the key to success?
Um, you know, there's I think everybody wants that, like, that one word blueprint, and really there isn't. It's just perseverance, it's perseverance, is getting through the suffering, the tribulations. And with anything, if you just don't quit, you're going to succeed. It's like a cause and effect, right? It's cause and effect. You put in the work, you're going to succeed, and that's what I started understanding. Um, I'm more devoted to boxing than I ever been. I'm more consistent in boxing than I ever been. I'm more disciplined than I ever been, and I feel like I'm just trusting in God's divine planning at this point. If it's in the hands of God, then who could stop it? So that's my mindset. And that's my mindset that I carry when I fight, when I train. And at the end of the day, man, I have fun with this stuff. But that's my message to anybody is trust in God, persevere, and stay consistent, and you will see the fruits of your work.
Well, tell me, how important is it to have a good team, and how has your team helped you get this far in your career?
That's a good question. It's like very important. This isn't a standalone sport. And the only time, even in the ring, it's not a standalone sport. You have people in your corner, mentoring, watching you, analyzing you. And for me, I've been finding a home. I said I've been finding a home this whole time in my career. From Ronnie to other coaches to Silas. And now I'm with my coach that I truly and confidently believe in my coach and my team right now. My Ben Stanoff, my dad, and Quincy and Pete. That I could build years of experience and relationship with them, and friendship. And it makes a really difference because it's about bonding. It's more than just the business side of it, you know. And these people are going to share in the mistakes you make, and they're going to share in the success that you have. So it is very important. I want to know where I would be without my team, especially without my pops. Pops been there since day one, so it's a very important thing, and that's what makes boxing hard, is that there's a lot of shady people in boxing. There's a lot of people out here that are in for their own will, who backstab you. We saw this with Mike Tyson and his manager at the time. We see this in history. It's a dog eat dog world. So you got to have the people around you that you trust and that you believe in them the same way that they believe in you.
Well, now I have some questions for you that aren't about boxing, right? Just a little bit, you know, get off the topic for a little bit and then back on it. Just four little questions.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite color?
Favorite color. I ain't gonna lie, man. It might sound weird, but my favorite color is pink, bro. Man, that's a little weird. It's pink and blue. I say that.
Well,
I'm just taking a guess too. That kind of sounded weird. Maybe I shouldn't say pink, but anyways, yeah, I say pink and blue. I think those are unique colors. Now, would I wear pink walking out? Most likely not. But I think it's a dope color.
favorite TV show or movie?
I like Invincible. I like Invincible. I watched a little bit of The Boys, but it just ended. Those are what I'm currently watching. Favorite movie of all time is Real Steel. Real Steel Boxing.
Okay, I seen that before.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to come out with a second one. The CGI in it is just really good.
Yeah, I seen all the shows you're talking about. Invincible, I love that show. Yeah, that's the only like animated thing I watch actually.
Yeah, Invincible. Yeah, I think I saw you make a post about it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's like that's it's really cool, really cool show. It sucks that I have to wait for episode to come out each week. It's like I wish they did it like how they have it like when they made Naruto. You got like 20 episodes in a season.
Now we have to wait another year, I believe, until another season.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, what's your favorite food?
I like I pizza, spaghetti. You know, I say that pizza and spaghetti is like number one go to. Cheeseburgers, kind of like those are the number one go to foods. That's like what I get after I weigh in things like that. So
Well, here's some back to boxing questions now.
let's do it.
Well, do you feel you are at a good place in your boxing career currently?
Absolutely. I felt like whenever I first turned pro, the spotlight was on me, and then I went through a lot of trials and error. I've got injured. I got an injury in my jaw. I threw out my shoulder. That was about 2 years off of just recovery alone. And the spotlight kind of dimmed. And I feel like since my last fight and my consistency of like my fights in the past recently, um, the spotlight is now back on, and I'm in a good spot right now. I'm in the rankings, so I'm at the crossroad where I can make a lot of noise. So I feel like I'm in a very good spot. Now is obviously not the time to let off the gas. It's the time to press even further down on it and to continue to make noise.
Well, you're 17-1, right? So does that one loss still bother you a bit? Is there something you could have done different in that fight to come out with the win?
Nah, I mean it doesn't really bother me. It's I feel like I haven't got more respect. Everyone knows the situation. It was like, obviously the guy he fell into a lot of luck, that fight. I threw out my shoulder in the fourth round, fought the rest of the fight one arm. So I feel like it gave me a lot more respect. And I see a lot of some of these fighters that have had losses become champion. It's getting back to the Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns era where people just fight just to fight, you know, and that's my goal. Is like I want to fight the best. My mindset is like I just want to fight the best. Have a family to provide for. They can keep the belts, man. I just want to fight. It's a sport that I love being in, and I work hard in it. So
Well, what advice do you have for some fighters around the world, amateur and professional fighters?
it's just the same as always. Stay consistent. Like a lot of times people they do something that sounds good and sounds planned out, and then when they hit a part of trial and error, they give up. And I've been there, and my time of life were the times where I wanted to quit boxing and things like that. But I bit down, I bit harder on my mouthpiece, I kept going, and fruit started to come from it. And there's still more things to come. So that's my thing is just to keep working hard, stay consistent, be purposeful in life, um, and have a good lifestyle because your lifestyle does affect what you do day to day. If you're out and you're drinking and you're getting drunk all the time, just being real, the the product of your work is not going to be as good as someone who's taking care of their body. So I think those things make a big difference. It's just being disciplined and being purposeful.
Well, who are some of your favorite fighters to watch and learn from? Like watching some old tapes, maybe videos and all that.
Yeah, so I like Winky Wright. I like Winky Wright. I love his defense, his high guard. As you see, I kind of did that in my last fight. My recent fight with the high guard. Um, I like George Foreman. I like Thomas Hearns, and I like Oscar. His style and things like that. And those are like the old school fighters that I kind of go back and I watch tape on, and I just take the good and leave out the bad, and I kind of create my own style with it.
Well, listen, we finished all my questions. I love chatting with you. Um, let's do it again in the future. I'll have more difficult questions because usually the first interview, I get a good amount of questions. We get through those, we get it done. Then the second interview is when I get the hard ones going.
Yeah,
But it was good talking to you, though. And Let me know when your next fight is, and I'll get you right back on here. But is there anything else you want to chat about while we're here?
No, I mean I think that's it, man. I think you're the interviewer, and I'm here to answer the questions. And you ask good questions. Keep doing what you're doing. I like your gig and things like that. That's why I wanted to hop on here. So whoever's watching, y'all tune in to the What's Next Kid. And yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, and I'll definitely be back on here.
Well, I'm actually an amateur boxer, podcaster, YouTube streamer, so three things.
Okay. So you got Kick going?
I'm Kick. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Kick is where it's at. But yeah, man, I appreciate you bringing me up, bro.
Yeah, I gotta stream more on Kick. I just troll people on there. You know,
Yeah,
YouTube,
no,
I'm mainly.
I started too, if y'all don't know, I be gaming on there. I'm gonna start posting on my story. So if you got Kick, give me a follow as well. So I be streaming on there too, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely. I'll give you a follow. I
All
don't have
right,
many
bro.
followers. I got like 9 on Kick.
I really I got like 5, I just started, so
Yeah, I gotta get mine going up. Because I mainly just been trolling in chats, and that's why people have been following me. Not because of the
really.
streaming. Just yeah.
Hey, that's funny. You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Well, it was good talking to you. Anything else?
Nah, that's it, man. I'm gonna I'm gonna wait till the next questions that you got. I assume that there'll be some good questions, so I'll be in tune for that.
Well, Jacob Stitch Duran, right? I asked him a question.
Mhm.
Um, Nobody asked him before, and which is like something because like he's always getting interviewed by everybody constantly, and I
Yeah,
just asked him a question nobody asked him, so it was like, wow, I can't believe that one. You know?
yeah. I mean, you gotta mix it in a little bit. You gotta ask some questions, that are different. Because I think the other thing is when interviews too, it's like sometimes a lot of questions are repetitive. So it's good to throw in a eye catcher here and there, like, oh, I didn't hear that. So. But it was overall good, man. You asked good questions, great questions.
Well, everybody, today's interview is sponsored by Long Island Boxing Charities. You should give them a follow. They help fighters. They help them. They're a great organization.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. What is it called?
Yeah, Long Island Boxing
Long
Charities.
Island Boxing. Okay, I'm gonna give them a follow, man.
Well, I thank you for coming on. I'll end it right now, but thank you. All
All right,
right.
all right. Thank you, man.
All right.